Oh man, I got to keep going on this Galatians thing, right? Galatians 4:17 is talking about how we shouldn't be walking like the Gentiles do, how they're chasing after sensuality, they've got a craving for more, and so on and so forth. And so somewhere around verse 20, right? Ephesians 4 verse 20, it says, right there, but that is not the way that you learned Christ, assuming that you've heard about him and were taught in him, as the truth is in Jesus, to put off your old self, which belongs to your former manner of life, and is corrupt through deceitful desires. So much there. How do you overcome sin? How do you live this new life that Jesus has given you? I think that's a lot of what it's talking about there. It's like, that's not how you learned Christ, assuming you've heard about Christ, right? You've heard about Christ, right? And you are taught about Christ, right? Because the truth is in Jesus. That's the secret, the gospel, right? I think one of the big challenges that a lot of folks have, I had it, and I still run into things like this, is people pick a different starting point in the Bible. They're like, let's start with the law. Okay, we're the law, and then everything kind of draws back to the law. That's not what the Bible is about. The Bible is about the gospel, the good news. That's what everything should point to. The gospel is it, which I know you're thinking, well, I know the gospel, right? Do you? That Jesus came and lived a perfect life, sin-free, and then died as a sacrifice to you, to where he literally took your place, my place. We were supposed to die for our sins, our nasty, corrupt sin. He became sin for us. He was destroyed, literally broken. That's the whole communion, right? Breaking body, bread. Like that, all roads of the Bible lead to that one moment. And I think I was far too quick to just be like, yep, got it, right? Yep, Jesus died for my sins. Okay, now what? Now what? That's it. All roads lead back to the gospel. Yes, we're going to grow in sanctification. And how do we do that? Like, come back to this Ephesians, right? It's like, you've heard about this, right? You know that this whole thing is about Jesus. Pretty much, Jeremy translation. And it says, to put off your old self. Your old self died with Jesus. Somewhere in the Bible it says, I've been crucified with Christ. What does that mean? Crucified with Christ? How? That's the great exchange. That's the gospel. When Jesus died, if we have faith, if we look at him and take that in our hearts, and we believe that that was really me on the cross and you on the cross. And we have to keep believing that. We have to keep our mind set on that. That's how we put off our old self, which is corrupt with its deceitful desires, right? Our old self is dead. We have to believe that. If we don't, if we're like, oh, goes, 12-step program, my name is Jeremy, and I am an alcoholic, right? I'm identifying like that's my identity. I am XYZ, right? And instead, it's like, no. We put off that version of me, if I was an alcoholic, is dead. And now I live in the Spirit.